Good afternoon, Peter.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you.
What I'd like to know from you is, can neuroscience explain consciousness? And which explanatory models for consciousness prevail currently?
Now, consciousness is what Chalmers, an American psychologist, calls the hard problem. And indeed, it is a hard problem. Now, there's a very good reason for that, which is only just beginning to be understood. We have two sciences. The first science is called reductionist science. This means that everything is physical, and anything which isn't physical doesn't come into it. So if you talk about souls or experiences, these are all brain-based. Everything is brain-based. And if it's not brain-based, then it's just imagination. So reductionist science doesn't really give us the answer to the wide range of experiences these people have. The fact that they can go to the ceiling and watch the resuscitation. There's the famous one of Kimberly Clark, where the person had the near-death experience, then left the hospital, or his mind left the hospital, and he saw a tennis shoe on one of the balconies, and came back and reported this. So he'd obviously been out of his body. And Kimberly Clark went around everywhere and found the tennis shoe. And there's certain specific things that he said, which led her to understand that it was absolutely correct. Well, anyway, there weren't any more shoes there. It was just where he said. And then, so that was a little bit of independent validation. And then, of course, going down the tunnel and the light and the wonderful feelings of love and confidence and help that people experience, and going out into an English garden. Well, I say it's an English garden. You might say it's a German garden. Actually, I think it's more like an English garden. And then there they meet dead relatives and they meet spiritual beings. And then a proportion, about 12%, will go on and have a life review. And that is totally fascinating because they see everything in their life. Now, if that's true, then memory can't be in the brain because these people are unconscious at that time. So there's enough evidence to support that. So it looks as if memory is outside the brain and consciousness is outside the brain. So we had to think about where is consciousness? And the general consensus fell into the two camps, as I say, inside or outside the brain. William James, at the end of beginning of the 1900s, said that the brain acted as a filter and the consciousness was outside the brain. And indeed, I think consciousness is outside the brain and the brain filters it. But most important, the fact is that reductionist science doesn't cover it. Now, quantum mechanical science does. And so the current view on consciousness is that it arises, or awareness is a better term for it, from the quantum vacuum, and then passes from the quantum vacuum, carrying with it the information of the moment, which is then goes to the brain, and the brain experiences it. So the answer to consciousness, no, it's not a simple reductionist science one, it's much broader than that. And quantum mechanics seems to fit it much better.
Very interesting, Peter. Thank you very much for these insights. Looking forward to the next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.